Budget workshop, October 25th, 2023.
The only item on the agenda is the budget workshop, so I'm going to turn it over to Zoe to start us out.
Okay. So I sent, or gave everything to everybody. The first part of it is the capital facilities plan. I don't think we went through that before. Do we need to go through that?
We went through, just the next years is what we went through, I think. What we're doing in.
2024.
Yeah, it would be
Mhm.
2024.
Okay, so Public Works has Ferry 3rd Street, 6-inch line for $8,000. Pump station number 1 repair, 20,000. Water meter updates for 24,000. The old road water main, 300 feet of 6-inch for 12,000. Tank divers, tank clean and inspect for 8,800. Impound improvements for 39,000. Altitude valves, 6,050. Annual road maintenance for the dams, 6,600. And sample station installs ×3 at 2,330. And then the fire department had fire hose replacement at 7,000, firefighter gear 4 at 10,000, and 1 air pack and 2 air bubbles at 10,000. Okay, for 2024.
It's just crazy.
Huh?
One aircraft costs $10,000 now.
Yeah, an air pack and 2 bottles for 10 grand.
What's an air
That-
I mean, they got you over a barrel, they can't.
Just your.
That they for when they go into a fire.
I don't know, I'll low gas 3,200
38.
for one set of gear.
And some help.
Oh my gosh.
Fine. No, you're
All
fine.
right, it's all good.
And then we'll go into the revenues. So the beginning, the unassigned cash investment beginning, the budgeted for 2024 is 570,000. The real and personal property tax, 279,000. The retail sales and use tax, 300,000. Local criminal justice excise tax, 35,000. Business and occupational tax, 150,000. Garbage utility tax, 15,000. TV cable tax, 25,000.
Can I ask a question?
Mhm.
If our actual for this year for the retail sales and use tax is 209 and it was 298 the year before, and we budgeted 275 and we're at 209 plus whatever couple of months we have left, why are we going up to 300?
Because we were at 298.
Last year
previously.
it came in at 298,
So-
yeah.
But this year we're at 209, so it'll probably come in about 230.
So we still have October, November, December.
Which will be about what?
I'm not sure. I'd have to look at what, like the
Will it be 70?
average would.
Are we gonna hit 300,000?
Maybe not, but we'll probably be in the 275, 280 range, I would say. Would be my
I mean, I
guess.
can change it if,
Well, I just know,
Yeah.
I'm looking at a lot of these and they're, the actual is low and we're going higher for the next year,
Well,
even though
so the
last year we
actual,
were.
it's pulled as right now, so,
Right,
yeah.
right,
Yeah.
I know we have. a
And the
couple
property
months.
tax hasn't come in, the second half of the year hasn't come in yet. This is just the first, the second half,
Oh,
they're due
right,
at the end of
right.
October.
Yeah, that one I wasn't
So that's-
questioning
oh,
so
okay.
much as the
The
retail sales and
use
use
tax.
and the TV cable tax. Why is that down so much? It's 12, it's 1210 so far.
Mhm.
I think a lot of people don't do TV anymore.
Yeah,
That's part of it, yeah.
Instead of
Anyway, I just
streaming
wonder how
everything on their
how it
phone.
affects the budget when we have such high budget expectations. And,
well, I think in 2022, the actual was 298,264. So,
well, that's
It was-
because, that was because of COVID. It really went up over the COVID time. And then it started to drop back down again because people are driving out of town to
Yeah,
buy stuff, so.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we saw a big jump for that first year of COVID was really high because when you buy from Costco, we get the sales tax in,
you mean
in
Amazon?
South Bend. Or
And
Costco
Amazon.
or Amazon, but now people are,
the 2022, that wasn't like the height of COVID.
no, but that was down from the year before too. It went up a
Yeah.
lot and then it's continually, continued to drop.
Mhm.
Cause people are driving and getting their stuff.
It was budgeted at 275 before. Would you guys feel more comfortable if it was at like 275 again?
I
I don't
don't,
think it makes any
I don't
difference.
know. I just wonder why when it's down from the year before, we budget a higher revenue than we did the year before.
Because
Well-
looking at what the actual was that we brought in 2022
Yeah,
was above what was budgeted for
Right.
2022 is what I was going off of.
Right.
It's just a projection.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand that, but the last quarter isn't gonna be $100,000 worth,
Yeah.
or at
well, we're
209.
basically at 210 now.
I don't know what the quarter
So it'd be
is.
about 70,000,
No, I was gonna say, I bet you were about
so it's
280.
about 280. Yeah, come in at about 280
And again, these are just estimates, they're not
Right,
actuals.
yeah,
for 9 months.
Right.
That's about 70,000 a month.
And you want to err on the side of caution and go a little high, or you'd rather do that than be under some.
I don't know if you want,
Well,
I don't know,
This
on the
is
re-
the
I don't
project.
know.
Revenue,
That's
so-
revenues is
yeah.
more the other way.
Right, oh, no,
You
you're
wanna
right,
be
you're right,
more
no, you're right.
conservative, and expenses,
You're
you
right.
wanna be,
higher.
higher, yeah.
Mhm,
And over anticipate those and under anticipate revenues or come close.
mhm.
So, but I don't think we're that far off. I think we're gonna come in about 280, maybe a little more.
The
We'll
the
see.
TV cable one was kind of like, whoa, what happened there?
Well, we did almost 25 in 2022. That was why.
But we're only at 12 right now.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm not sure. Does that come in monthly though, or does that come in quarterly?
Quarterly.
yeah, I think that one.
Is
comes
it
in
quarterly?
For.
So that's
let me
only 6
see.
months there then.
Yeah,
Oh, this is only 6 months.
Yeah, because it comes in quarterly, so the ones that ended in
would just
the
be,
end of
or
the
some are
third
just
quarter
now
hasn't.
coming in.
Yeah, it's not on this
So it's
report
probably
yet.
not on the
Yeah,
report.
October,
Yeah.
November, December, but September's on there.
No,
No, it's
No, the
probably,
third
it'd just
quarter's
be
not on
coming
there
in,
yet.
some of
Oh,
the
the
third
third
quarter
quarter's
stuff is
not
just
on?
coming in. Well, it's just now due the end of October,
yeah.
it's the end of the third quarter.
The end of the third quarter is the end of September, but they
Right,
have
but
until
the
the end of
stuff is-
October. to
Oh,
pay in
So we
for the
haven't,
end. So we haven't seen
we
it
haven't
yet.
seen
Right.
it.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
okay.
That's what, yeah.
I got you.
That's what I meant, it's due by the end of October.
Yeah, 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 when this report was produced, it wasn't here yet. So that's about
Got it.
right, if you think that's 6 months is 12,000, then a year would be 24, and we budgeted 25, so that's pretty close.
I didn't know we were 2 quarters shy. Just a
Yeah.
quarter. I thought we'd be a quarter shy.
Mhm.
but-
Yeah,
So then-
Okay,
Okay. Telephone utility tax at 30,000. PUD tax 105. Water sewer utility tax at 140. Gambling tax 200. Then the franchise fees and royalties, 45,000. Business licenses, 14,000. Building permits, 20,000. Animal licenses, 500. Oh, I thought I took that off there, I think it should be off of there. Stop grant, 4,100. Click it or ticket DUI grant, which is, traffic safety, 10,000. When is that? DTF grant, 30,000. TAC grant, 6,300. PUD privilege tax, 11,500. City assistance at 70,000. Criminal justice population, 1,000. Criminal justice special programs, 2,000. Marijuana excise tax, 8,000. UI cities, 200. Liquor excise, 12,500. Liquor board profits, 14,000. Law enforcement services reserves, 3,000. Fire district 8 services, 1,500. Fire protection DNR, 20,000.
That's a new.
That's a
one.
new line. Bubba and some of the firefighters have been going and doing wildland firefighting with taking our trucks over. And so they get paid for the fire department or the city gets paid for the use of those trucks while they're over there. So we budgeted some of that in for this next year. Because they got paid, they went to 2 this year, so if they're able to continue to do that, then that's a new revenue source.
What'd that rig cost him?
Which one?
The brush rig that you guys been taking?
It was a donation, wasn't
Was it donated by the DNR?
No, that was just, it was a grant. Didn't cost us something.
Wow, that's been a good investment. then.
Yeah.
Well done.
Permit fees, 10,000. Yeah, police court fines and forfeitures, 75,000. And investment interest, 25,000. Investment interest on timber, 6,000. Sales tax interest, 800. And miscellaneous, 1,000.
Everybody doing okay? No questions?
Not yet.
Okay.
I was wondering, when do we get the police court fines and forfeits? Do we get that all the time?
Yeah, it comes in like, that's like the monthly, what the court puts in, and then we send portion off to
It's
the
kind of
state.
on a different tier.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, because I saw 0 and then I saw
Yeah,
75,000 and I
yeah.
thought,
Yeah, it's
Oh.
under a different line now. It's
what's this
48.
one?
right?
Okay,
Yeah.
I shouldn't.
So that's our report to the city, it's not really.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so then, property rental for the Pacific County Sheriff's Office storage unit, 720. Other miscellaneous revenues like coffee sales, 500. Miscellaneous revenues, which is like NSF fees, 500. The restricted cash and investments beginning in streets is the 34,900, which is the, what's that?
SDP.
STP, yeah. So from the county,
Yeah, we do that every year, we have to use it in streets, for street projects and stuff like that.
so then, the Madison Street Sidewalk Improvement Grant, 477,100. The appropriation for Madison Street is $175,000. Multimodal transportation, 5,000. Motor vehicle fuel tax, 30,000. EP repair maintenance. Oh. Oh, because it's set aside in the restricted and it's in, so that's a 34,000. Miscellaneous revenues for it's 1,000. And then operating transfers in is 300,850. And the next would be the library, so the PCOG funded library repairs of 40,000. And then the transfers for the library is 13,000. And then the next fund is docks. So the assigned cash and investment beginning is 107,000. The leasehold excise tax 650. The real estate excise tax 35,000. And again, that's off of there. Boat launch fees 9,000. Mortgage 3,500. Rock Canyon Valley Properties lease share 650.
What's that?
Huh?
What's that?
That is the
The old Russ Ward stuff.
yeah, that down at the Boondocks.
Yeah, and was bought by Rock Canyon, which is the same outfit that owns the golf course. And all
Yeah,
that
it's
stuff.
Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Restaurant room donations at 200. Miscellaneous revenue 100. And then that's for docks. The next is parks. Hotel motel taxes 7,000. The RCO Cheney Park Sport Court, which that was added new because that's that funding for that 12,000. And with the transfers in, stuff is 100,000 for parks. Next is water. With the water system plan at 50,000.
You believe that? We have to update our water system plan, it's $50,000. To update that plan, just the plan, just the paper plan, 50 grand.
Who does that for you?
You know,
I want a racket.
Yeah.
actually, I think
Model.
it's more than that.
Really?
Mhm.
Wow.
So state excise tax, 40,000. The PCOG, the 0.09 for the water treatment plant, 65,000. Water sales, 800,000. Miscellaneous others at 32,000. Miscellaneous new services, 10,000. Utility customer deposits at 5,000. For water. The sewer is the assigned cash investments beginning is 125,000. The state excise tax 45,000. Sewer sales 1,213,900. Land use permit fee for Cameron Vines is 850. Miscellaneous other 16,000. Miscellaneous new services 10,000. Next is mosquitoes, right? 4 or 5.
I think so,
And
yeah.
so the assigned cash and investment beginning is 45,000. The city excise tax for water sewer is 50,000. for city excise tax for garbage is 40,000. Down to, 610 is, I get them always backwards. One is Robert Bush and one is Mary Rogers. I think Robert Bush is 610. So that's the, yeah, 9,377.29.
Mhm.
And the investment interest is 2,500. So that's for Robert Bush Park. 620 is Mary Rogers Park. And then that's with what we have, that 8,429.67 after using some of what was
General
Still-
maintenance and stuff.
Yeah, for that board.
for
walk
the
and stuff
boardwalk
over
and
there.
stuff.
Yeah,
So. And restricted investment for municipal court, 10,000. Municipal court receipts, 126,000. The county court remittances, 600. State court remittances, 40,000. And then for the concealed weapons permits, state fees, $1,000. For building permits, state fees, $600. And then the restricted cash and investments of it, for 239,284. So those were the revenue. Was there any other questions on any of that?
Our revenues are down.
yes, they
Mhm.
are.
Why is that?
Water sales are down. That's one of the bigger ones.
Mhm.
Of course, we don't have, some of the, taxes aren't in, and like some of the third quarter taxes aren't in yet. Property taxes aren't here yet for the second half of the year.
But they're in this total at the end.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
didn't realize.
Oh, I was just looking at our revenues from there.
From the actual to,
Well, from
The
a,
budgeted
yeah, from a
for
couple,
all the
yeah,
years.
yeah, from all the years.
Yeah.
We're going the wrong way.
Mhm. Well, some of that has to do with, projected, capital projects, like we had a $3 million.
yeah, the water
plant,
treat, yeah.
Thing that happened, and so depending on those, that puts big swings in your revenues when you have big projects going on like that. And this year, the only thing happening, I think, is Madison Street, right?
This coming year?
Yeah.
So far, yeah.
So far.
Yeah, and that's just over, what, 500,000, 600,000
Yes,
maybe,
yes.
something like that.
Yeah,
You go
with
from
the-
3 million down to 600,000, that's a big swing. in
With
your
the, yeah, with the
budgeted
wash dot and
revenues.
then that appropriation, it's probably at like 6.
Yeah, so
It's
that's
like
part
4
of it
something
too.
and 175 or something, wasn't it? Yeah. But yeah, and that water treatment plant was in there for
Couple
a
years,
few years. We
Yeah,
Just, you
yeah.
know,
so that's a good portion of it.
Yeah.
so, expenditures. So with, starting at the, which is like City Hall, the 511 is City Hall, council, you know, so salaries and wages at 19,000. Personnel benefits, 1,476. Operating supplies, 3,000. Postage meter rental website management, 12,000. Travel, 2,000. Advertising for legals, 4,500. Utilities for City Hall, 3,500. And miscellaneous, which is like AWC dues, retro, 2,500. And then miscellaneous dues and subscriptions, 1,500. Miscellaneous election costs, 15,000. So salaries and wages, the next thing is, the court. Just $55,000. Benefits, 10,000. Office supplies and forms, 2,000. Contract for the public defender, 12,000. Contract for the prosecutor, 12,600. Interpreter, 1,200. Miscellaneous services, 8,000. And training and travel, 1,000. And the next is, like administration. Salaries and wages, 75,000. Benefits, 30,000. Office supplies and miscellaneous, 6,500. State auditor costs, we shouldn't have it, but I kept it in there. Just in case something comes up, 50,000.
Did a grant for a certain amount, what is it, 750,000, if you have that much in federal grant, something that triggers a federal audit.
Yeah.
Whether you're scheduled for an audit or not.
Yeah,
So I
So
figured
I'd
I'd
rather
rather
just-
leave it in there.
I'd rather just
for it.
leave it in there, just to. you
Yeah,
know,
whether we use it or not,
Yeah.
it's in there if we need it.
Yeah. But it
Another
shouldn't-
racket.
Huh?
Oh,
I know.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Ugh.
Office equipment, repair and maintenance, $1,000. Computer software maintenance, 15,000. Codification of ordinances, 3,500. Training and travel, 5,000. Miscellaneous dues, subscription, bank, 2,500. And building permits and professional services, 25,000. Internal legal services, 5,000. Repair and maintenance on City Hall, 3,500. Custodial services, City Hall, 900. City Hall security, 650. And insurance, 22,000.
How's the insurance, how much has it gone up overall? You know,
Our total insurance bill it went up 15%. But I think it's actually a little bit more, but I think our whole total insurance bill, which I could go grab it, was $242,039 or something like that.
Yeah.
yeah, because Phil's seen 40 to 60% increases.
It's crazy.
What?
Yeah, yeah. I sit on the
Like the school-
RMSA
the
board,
schools
which is
stuff.
our AWC insurance stuff.
Mhm.
And the cost of insurance is crazy in the marketplace right now because of the
Yes.
wildfires, the hurricanes, the tornadoes and all of that. And I just read an article today I shared with Zoe that car insurance companies 2 years in a row have had expenditures exceeding revenues by 12%. So,
Really?
yeah, those are gonna go up too.
Well, yeah, you hit a
Yeah.
car, you hit
They
a
are
car and, you know, they
Yeah.
total it, you know, and it's an $80,000 car.
Right,
You know, and not so much around here, but in the cities, you know, fender bender can be $100,000
Mhm.
easy.
mhm, mhm,
And then the uninsured motorists that are running around,
mhm,
replacement costs on buildings, you
yeah.
know.
It's getting serious. I was speaking with someone, today from AWC RMSA and, there's a lot of smaller cities that are struggling to pay their insurance bill. They're not sure how they're gonna do it. And we in RMSA, raised our rates 15%. And, we had a report from another one, I'm not gonna say which one, that was going up 25% this year. So.
Yeah,
it's-
15% is a bargain.
It
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
and then when you add in, we had an increase in worker hours and we had some, like the new park stuff and everything that got insured and we actually went up, about 20%. It went from 200, I believe it was last year, up to 240 something this year.
Yeah, I think
So it's about 20%.
Yeah, 242, I wanna say it's like 242.39 or something.
Yeah, yeah.
It always just makes me panic.
Yeah, it's a
Did
big-
we recapture any of that insurance costs on the field from like the school or anything?
No,
No.
it's just, it's out there.
Yeah,
Oh, the ball field, they don't pay for insurance.
'Cause I mean, they use them more than anybody, so.
Yeah, I'd send them a little bill.
See
Of
how
course,
that's
they
helping
don't
out
want
with
it.
portion of
You
that.
don't wanna know what their insurance was.
Yeah, it's bad too. We're the property owners, so they're leasing us.
Yeah,
That's
but
the property owners.
what kind of, do we get any revenue relief on a lease agreement with it?
No, it's,
Use
the,
it.
yeah, we have the ability to use it whenever we want, and that they're, partners with us. Like, for instance, we used, Milan Field for Labor Day and stuff like that. We kind of go back and forth.
It's a sweet
We just
deal
try
for
and
the
be good
school.
Partners.
Yeah.
It is for everybody,
It
you know, if
is.
we
I mean,
want
Well,
to
we
hold
got
a
the-
major
we got-
city event, we're allowed to use the school facility to do it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, they have ball games more often than we use the facilities
Yeah.
down there, but it's a great place for families to go, and
Yeah.
it's a park system for us, and so it's, the citizens can use it whenever they choose to as well.
Right.
So it's.
But they do have to go through the school to use. it.
Yeah,
They
it's
do.
a
Yes,
sweet
they
deal for
do.
the school.
It
but,
is,
you know.
it is, but it's a.
But that's
real
only, it's only a
benefit to the
10-year
whole
contract, so
community. Mhm.
depending on how much insurance goes up, you can
Yeah, yeah.
have them kick in. They seem to have some money flying around all the time.
It gets a lot of grants,
Yep.
and
Yeah,
that's earmarked for certain things.
yeah.
Okay, onward.
Okay. So we're at, the police department. So. What, now,
So salaries and wages,
so what, which one do you want?
let's talk about it. Salaries and wages, we initially put in, what do you have on yours?
392.
392, and I've got it updated with 462. The last few years, the police department has had a bunch of overtime, and they have exceeded, their budget. Because of it. Some of that is reimbursed, but it still shows up on this form. The drug task force reimburses quite a bit of that overtime. But we're feeling like we should probably include that in here this year to be a little more realistic as to what it actually is, even though some of it's reimbursed. So that's kind of what we're looking at, so.
Do we have any idea on a dollar figure closely where that lays as far as overtime?
462.
462.
Oh, so it's not
Four-
390.
So
No.
instead of 392,
462 is what we
The
put down in there.
expenditure for salaries and wages would be $462,000. Right?
Yeah.
Well, we had a lot of overtime because you were short, you know, an officer and
We-
everybody was working double time.
We've been running consistently a lot of overtime over the past few years.
Mhm.
And, you know, we've been fully staffed now since, when did that start?
June, or no,
No.
he started in June, so
So
So just-
March,
March.
we've been fully staffed since March. And we're still, our overtime numbers are still up there.
You
We're
put the
consi-
overtime
we're
numbers for each
consistently-
month.
Our
You put
average
the
is about
estimated
11,000.
for the year.
There's been over-
It's about $11,000 a month.
I have,
We need
So-
another police officer.
Yeah, no, in all reality, yeah,
We need a part-time or,
Well, I mean,
because you pay the benefits regardless, right?
that's the benefit. That 11,000 average is overtime rate
With-
plus benefit.
Yeah.
And that's coming directly.
I'll go.
That we've been paying every month.
Yeah.
Part of that,
I'll do another one.
part of that additional overtime is guys are taking vacations. And we're trying to cover those vacations. We have to cover the shifts, you know, and I'm not about to start telling guys, no, you can't have vacations, you know, in this line of work, we have to.
no.
But it's, you know, the last 2 years, at the end of the year, we've been doing budget amendments to make the police department reflect that, you know, because we're over budget the last 2 years. So like the mayor said, you know, I think we should account for the overtime in our budget at least. and have it written in there.
Mhm.
The bad part is that when the money comes back in, it comes back on the revenue side, not on the expense side, so you don't see it, that it was
Right.
recompensed on
Right.
the expense side. But,
It almost makes you curious of the offset, you know, versus if you hired another officer. It would give you somebody else to cover some of these shifts and cut some of the overtime, but we might also be able to improve our coverage as well. If we
Well,
were
we've
able to have
got,
another officer.
this is what it would cost, about $8,400 a month. That's what I'm looking at here,
Mhm.
for
So
another officer
another
Yeah,
officer, you're at $8,400 a year or a
a
month.
month.
So you're spending 11 right now in overtime.
Yeah.
Sometimes more, sometimes
Yeah.
13, you know, that's just an
Impacts all
average, 11.
Plus putting pressure on your
Yes, the,
employees.
you know, it also comes down to the mental health of our officers, you know, and their officer wellness as far as, you know, guys feeling guilty about wanting to take vacation because that puts added pressure on the guys that are there. So, you know,
How much of that 11,000 per month, looks like average is reimbursed?
on
Or what
On
percent?
average, 25 to 35% of our overtime is being billed
Okay.
out. But, we could still bill out straight time too. We would still bring in those other revenues. It's just not overtime. I wouldn't be using it as overtime, but for instance, the STOP grant, which is, it pays for our domestic violence and sexual assault overtime when we're investigating those crimes. If we have an officer that's on duty and he's handling that case, we can still bill that grant for that officer's straight time and get that money coming in, because it's paying for that. Same way with the TAC and the DTF and the traffic safety stuff. We can now bill for straight time. It's not only overtime.
So that includes like school stuff.
So the
Right.
school, the TAC and,
Right.
you know,
Is the hospital paying you guys a monthly amount to be up there anymore, or they?
nope, we, ever since, you know, after their little scare up there, once that kind of resolved itself, they haven't asked us to come do any more security for them. But, you know, that's just, our guys are working so much as it is. Guys didn't want to necessarily sign up to go
No,
work
fit up at the
overtime up
hospital.
there.
Yeah,
Right, they're getting all the overtime that they don't want. It's,
so do you think we need another officer? Would that balance out the amount of money we're paying out?
I think it would. I can't say that we would have zero overtime if I had another officer. I can't say
No,
that
yeah.
we will have zero. We're still gonna have holiday overtime. We're still gonna have emergency call out overtime. But it would drastically cut, or it wouldn't be $11,000 a month. Because I would have one extra body when the guy was on vacation. There would be no overtime to fill in for vacations. It would be covered by straight time. And in addition, if it was another officer, sending them to the academy, it's not gonna be any additional costs. Because we're working a 4-man schedule right now. We would, you know, in the past, we're sending an officer to the academy, that leaves 3 of us to cover a 4-man schedule, and.
Which is more overtime.
It's more overtime.
How much does
We
he?
do get some reimbursed back from
we get-
CJTC
and
for, to cover that,
And we still
but
would.
not a lot. I mean, it's,
CJTC reimburses for agencies, I think it's smaller than 10.
I think so,
10
yeah.
sworn, we get reimbursed a portion of the cost to cover while they're gone. So, yes, I think it would drastically cut the overtime.
Well, we're supposed to be focusing on the
Yeah.
budget tonight. So we can talk about adding or not adding an officer down the road. Whatever we do, I want to go slowly on this. I don't want to make a quick snap decision. But for now, do we want to include those dollars in the budget?
I'd like to see where it reflects and that way, yeah, we.
Okay. All right,
Absolutely.
okay.
Okay.
So, all right, so continuing on,
So then, the benefits, which that changes,
Yes.
189.
it's 189.
Yeah,
I thought I grabbed
189,
that paper, but I
072.
grabbed a different paper.
Oh, okay,
So then for benefits, it's 189. Left benefits 4,000. Long-term care left one retired 2,350. Uniform allowance 4,000. Reserves,
That one would go up
5,000.
to.
it would go up to
too.
5,000 if there was another officer.
Mhm.
Police reserves 2,000. Office supplies 2,000. Operating supplies 13,000. Fuel 20,000.
So that may go up too, if you had another
We
officer.
got 2 hybrid
I got
cars
2.
coming.
We'll have
Oh,
3
okay.
total hybrid vehicles.
Okay.
So I feel pretty confident about our
Okay.
fuel budget.
Professional services, custodial services 500. Vet services 500. Communications and phones 11,000. Patcom 25,000. Training and travel 6,000. Insurance 66,757. Repair and maintenance 6,500. Jail services at Pacific County 11,000. Miscellaneous dues and subscriptions 15,000.
I'm gonna question that one.
Why it's the,
Yeah, when you're looking at.
Well, we had 21,000. I didn't notice that when I looked through the first one. We had 21,000 in 2022. And we're under right now, but do we have all of those renewals coming in is that for the Axon
No,
stuff and all
Axon's
that?
be coming in later.
but remember we looked at it. Of why it was the 256.30, what was it showing? We looked
We
at.
must have
that
got a
for
refund
reason.
on something.
Yeah, there,
Yeah, something wasn't
It
right in
was-
there. We still have our big Axon bill.
the actual.
That's what I
yeah,
figured.
And
Yeah.
Axon and Lexipol, all of those bills, I think, October.
I haven't gotten any,
Yeah, I think we usually get them October, November.
must be November, we haven't gotten any, or you haven't given me anything.
I haven't got them yet.
Okay. That was my question. So I figured that we just have, they're once a year bill, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they are.
That's what I figured.
Miscellaneous, 3,000. So, fire department. The next, so salaries and wages, 4,200. Benefits, 3,000. Cleaning and supplies, 1,000. Operating supplies, 6,000. Repair and maintenance on the building, 2,000. Fuel, 3,500. Repair and maintenance equipment, 25,000. Patcom, 500. Utilities and phone, 2,400. Training and travel, 1,000. Insurance, 16,500. Utilities, the electricity, 6,000. And Pacific County Emergency Management is 8,000.
So, and I was gonna say on the insurance, we have received the insurance numbers. So these are the actual numbers, although we've got another meeting coming up, they may revise them, and if they do, they may go down slightly. They're gonna see if there's anything we can do to help some of these cities out when we redo it. But we'll have a meeting sometime the week of November 13th, they're gonna do a doodle poll and see when people can meet, but we're gonna look and review that, but they won't be higher than that. that we did get the insurance numbers for the various departments, so.
PCOG dues, 1,800. Economic development, 720. Abatement cost, 15,000. County alcohol assessment, 500. Orca, 1,603.14. State court, that's all. Capital outlay for legislative, 3,500. Capital outlay for computers, copier, 7,000.
We do have to get 2 computers this year, right?
And that's why I raised
Yeah,
it from
yeah.
this budget before 35, so
Yeah.
yeah, we need, Kim and I both need new computers, so.
We have a new guy in town.
We, yeah, I need to see, but Vision is, I got a quote from them because they put all of our software on it already, and I don't know. I need to talk to them and see if it's, I don't know how cost effective it would be to purchase it, send it into them, have them put, or you know what I mean? Cause when they send it, they put everything on it and then send it to us.
Sounds like that guy really knows his stuff down there, though.
Yeah,
It'd be nice if we could, support our businesses in town.
no, for sure, if we have anything that comes up that we need, because a while back I was looking for somebody, and couldn't find anybody, so. If we remember when we were going through all that,
Yeah, it was just like 2 months shy of when you come in.
yeah,
Anyways,
so,
but I think he does all the hospital stuff too.
yeah, so, no.
Well,
we-
yeah, see if
I-
he could put the software on too. Or does it come from that company? They have to do
It
it.
Vision is our like municipal software, so we don't have. They do our server, everything, it comes,
Kind of a package deal.
yeah,
That might be a challenge.
yeah. But if we have any general computer stuff, definitely I would reach out and use the local,
Well, like if I needed a new computer or Dennis needed. a
And he
new
also, I guess,
computer.
does home alarm systems and business alarm.
Well, and so that is
monitoring.
something that we do
Yeah.
are looking at. We need to upgrade here, and we've talked about maybe applying for some funding for that. So that's
Yeah.
good to know, because I
He
didn't
does-
know he did do
does.
that also.
Yeah, I heard he does do
So
that.
I'll definitely reach out to him regarding that. Because we do need to look at that for here, so
But do we have some down at Cheney Park? Is there
the school
The
does.
school does,
Okay.
and we have access to their system.
It's a good system.
It is a really good system.
you know the guy that did it?
Capital outlay for police, 7,500. Capital outlay for police computers, 3,000. Police officer equipment, 7,500. Capital outlay for firefighter equipment, 35,000. Geez, I can't
You
talk
getting a
all of a
little
sudden.
rummy, Zoe?
I know. Capital outlay fire equipment, 65,000. Capital outlay fire equipment hose replacement, 3,500.
Wait a second. In our capital facilities plan, we have fire hose replacement at 7,000, and here you only have 3,500.
Yeah, that needs to be updated in the capital facilities
Oh.
plan. We didn't.
It's 3,500.
Yeah, it's 3,500,
Yeah,
right?
we dropped that, yes.
So that needs to
Okay.
change in the facilities plan.
Okay, got it.
I forgot about that.
I gave it
We'll
to
keep
him
you
and
on
I
the straight
didn't.
and narrow.
I didn't.
We did it in the budget.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
I'll make a note and get that changed. Library. 53,000. City streets. 300,850. And parks is 100,000.
So on the library, the reason that went up so much is because we've got the PCOG .09, $40,000 coming in for that. that project over there, so that's why that one is so much more this year, because we will have those revenues and then they will be expended when they do that project.
Right.
So, yeah.
So we're into streets, salaries and wages, 149,000, benefits 67,000. Food allowance 250. Gravel 16,000. Asphalt 10,000. Miscellaneous supplies and signs 10,000. Fuel 4,600. Utilities, street lighting 16,000. Equipment repairs 4,500. Contracted maintenance and labor 22,000. Capital outlay for street 12,000. Peacock STP repair maintenance 69,800. Madison Street, the sidewalk improvement grant 477,100. Then the Madison Street appropriation $175,000. Operating supplies 500. Custodial services. Excuse me, sorry, this is the library.
No, I think this is still, oh yeah, this is library, yeah, yeah.
Custodial services 3,000. Let's see. Utilities and electricity 2,000. Repair and maintenance 5,500. Operating certification elevator lift 2,000. Then the Peacock funded repair and maintenance 40,000.
How often does the elevator have to be certified? Is that every
It's
year?
every year.
Is it every year? Okay.
And I raised it up because it was like, it was that 18,1605 last year.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
why it was so cheap in the years past and then now all of a sudden it jumped up, but that's why I then
Well,
budgeted.
that's why I
the
was
two-
asking if it was every year or every
Yeah.
other year or.
Yeah, it was, I was like shocked because it had been less in the past and then last year it really
Was a
was,
lot.
yeah.
Okay.
So I budgeted on the higher side, assuming that it's gonna stay at that higher rate. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah,
2 years past, I wonder if that money was just calculated somewhere else, and that's why it was lower. You know,
Yeah.
before you took over.
Maybe,
Cause I
I-
know the service of them is pretty expensive.
Yeah, and I'm not sure, cause I mean, that's where I would have thought it would have been, cause it specifically says, and that's where I just then
You
took it
guys
out,
contract
so.
through like
I mean,
Tyson Crop or somebody.
$100, it's almost like they didn't even come, they just.
she could have put it under repair. and
It could have been under
maintenance.
something
It
else.
could have been under
Yeah.
repair and maintenance, maybe,
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the actual certificate
Now we're
maybe.
seeing the actual cost.
Yeah.
where
reflection.
I put it under,
Yeah.
yeah. It could have been just, correct, it could have been put under,
Who knows?
yeah,
It's in
So,
there anyway.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
right,
That's probably why
accounted
it's
for
more
it.
than 100.
Huh?
That's probably why it's more than the 100.
yeah,
Mhm.
We're seeing the full reflection there.
right.
Mhm.
So doc salaries and wages, 13,945. Personnel benefits, 5,733. Leasehold excise tax, 650. Utilities, electricity, 1,000. Portable restroom pumping, $5,000. Repairs and maintenance, 6,000. Public marina DNR fees, 3,000. Miscellaneous expenses, 72,000.
I thought we were gonna change that one.
No,
you
he-
needed
he
that.
wanted
You
to
needed
say-
to
keep
leave
it
that.
in
That's
there,
right. We
yes.
talked about it and then we talked with you and you
Yeah.
wanted to leave it in there as a
Some of the
placeholder.
decking is still on bad on.
Yeah.
Different portions of the dog, that hasn't been replaced, so we wanna make sure we have money in there in case something goes bad.
So the 965 has been spent, just, there's still a lot more coming,
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
obviously a lot more coming,
Well, eventually, yeah.
eventually,
Might not all be in one year.
right,
We
right,
need her in there in case.
yeah. 72.
Parks salaries and wages, 36,150. Benefits 15,815. Operating supplies miscellaneous 15,000. Fuel consumed 3,000. Miscellaneous contract services 9,500. Utilities miscellaneous services 8,000. Repair and maintenance equipment 2,000. Repair and maintenance facilities 3,000. Capital outlay 13,000. And the RCO Cheney's Park Sport Court 4,000.
That's basically the match when that, when you do get that.
Yeah.
The park looks
Well,
smaller.
so that should be changed then to 24. We're getting 12 and then we have to match it.
No. That, the 12 would be the match.
Did we show 12 in revenues? Are we getting 12 for the grant?
No, the grant is like 100.
Okay. I didn't know what,
Yeah.
so that,
That would
okay.
be the match, yeah.
Water. Any questions so far? Sorry, or anything else? I'm just kind of.
We kind of been talking and
Yeah,
bringing it up.
but I just some guy powering through and I just.
We'll interrupt you.
Yeah, okay. So water salaries and wages, 289,763. Personnel benefits, 132,948. Food allowance, 600. Materials and supplies, 45,000. Chemicals, 20,000. Fuel consumed, 11,500. Water purchases for the Raymond Intertie, 5,000. Miscellaneous professional services, 37,500. State excise tax, 40,000. Sample testing monitoring for water, 5,000. Communications, 10,000. Training and travel, 2,000. Insurance, 30,427. Power, sewer storm pumps, 2,000. Power for miscellaneous pumps, 30,500. Power for the water treatment plant, 30,000. Repair and maintenance on equipment, 25,000. Membership dues and subscriptions, 1,200. Operating certification for the water, 6,000.
Is that enough? We spent 7,500 for certification this year.
It was 6,000 the year before.
Yeah, has it gone up? You know, do we need to match that 7,500 this year? Do you think?
Kind of looks like it's trying.
What's the cost? 1 minute late. Did you want me to change that?
Yeah.
You are at 7,500 or do you want it more?
No way.
It does move away.
It feels like it's you're waiting for it.
Really close.
Or it's great.
There.
Okay,
There we go.
utility deposits refunded 5,000. The USCRD loan, 30,000. Principal. PWTF loan, 21,052.63.
And she looked these up. These are gonna be the numbers.
On the principal.
Mhm.
The DWSRF loan principal, 115,714.10. The DWSRF loan for interest is 2,892.85. PWTF loan interest is 2,526.32. USDA RD loan, interest 80,000.
No, on that PWTF, it shows that you're at 3,157. That's already,
It goes down
okay,
as you pay. You
Okay,
get
as
closer
you
to the end,
pay
the
towards the
interest goes
principal. So
down, the
next year
principal goes up.
next year it'll be less.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah, I went in and looked at the
Okay.
payment. Stuff. She grabbed those numbers.
because the other one shows 0 below that. USDA?
For this year so far, that's,
So if that's for this year, then why is the other one at 3,000? If we paid out 3,000, why would
because
it?
the year's not over yet, that will be filled in.
Okay,
That's actual, that 0 is actual.
Okay.
Believe me, there's interest going in
Yeah.
there. We haven't paid it off yet.
not just making sure.
Yeah.
I'm missing something.
Nope, you're not.
Okay, still in water, capital outlay, computer hardware, software, 5,000. Water treatment maintenance agreement, 15,000. Capital reserve, 205,000. USDA RD short-lived assets for 40 years, 27,270. Watershed management, 140,000. River crossing upgrade, 270,000. WT water treatment plant membrane filters, 150,000. Water line infrastructure improvement, 15,000. The Peacock 0.09 for the water treatment plant, 65,000. Upgrade of Fleece Creek, 40,000. Water system plan, 50,000.
I think that needs to go up to 65.
For which one?
The,
The water system plan?
yeah. I'm pretty sure
65,000?
65, when we hit that the first time it said 50, I'm pretty sure I had down there 65 somewhere, maybe I missed it, but it's supposed to be 60.
Okay. Capital outlays, capital outlay vehicles and equipment, 20,000. Impound improvements, 39,000. Altitude valve, 6,050. Annual road maintenance for the dam, 6,600. Making sure it still
Yeah,
was on
somebody
there.
left, got tired.
Oh, okay. I was at the sample station install type 3, 2,500. Water line improvements for pipe, 5,000. So now on to sewer. Salaries and wages, 95,207. Personnel benefits, 42,860. Food allowance, 600. Materials and supplies, 20,000. Chemicals, 1,000. Fuel consumed, 9,000. Miscellaneous professional services, 18,000. State excise tax, 40,000. Communications, 9,000. Training and travel, 1,000. Insurance, 61,153. Power for sewer and storm pumps, 16,000. Power Eklund Park pumps, 4,200. Repair and maintenance equipment, 16,000. Repair, maintenance and operations on the rural wastewater treatment plant, right?
Regional.
Or regional
wastewater, yeah,
wastewater, sorry.
that's all right.
315,000. Membership dues subscriptions, 500. Wastewater discharge permits, 2,000. Washington Parks and Recs easement, 15,000. The DOE loan principal, 91,086.36. PWTF loan, the principal, 53,362.58. DOE loan on the principal, this is the one for the that is with Raymond, is the 58,156.54. The USDA RD loan principal, $152,325.98. The PWTF loan, the interest, $5,234.43. DOE loan, the interest, $5,373.50. The DOE loan interest for the, with Raymond is $6,403.16. And the USDA loan, interest, $139,734.03. Capital improvement for computers, $3,000. Sewer pump repair replacement, $36,000. Capital outlay vehicles and equipment, $12,000.
Any other questions, Bill?
Mhm.
So the Washington Parks and Rec easement,
Mhm.
15,000, what's that get us?
That's, the easement for with the trail, right, Dennis?
Yeah, yeah.
Where the,
Rails, trails.
Some of the street bathrooms.
we have to pay the state.
It's crazy.
And maintain it.
We're
And
providing a
maintain it,
bathroom
yeah.
for 'em and
It
maintaining
just makes you wonder where the benefit is to us. You know?
I just had this conversation the other day, so I'm right there with you.
That's an awful lot of money to
Yeah.
manage a bathroom on property you don't own,
Mhm,
you know?
mhm.
15 grand.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's a
Yeah.
great convenience for the community, but that's a huge expense for our city. We'll be paying $15,000, not only that, how many man hours do we have down there cleaning garbage and cleaning bathrooms?
Well,
Right.
how many fixtures do we have to replace because they tear them off the wall?
Yeah, a lot.
You know,
It's,
So-
yeah,
I mean,
It's
there's a little
expensive.
bathroom down there costing us $25,000, $30,000 a year said and done, or?
yes.
There it is.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, there it
At
is.
least.
well, and yeah, and maintaining the
Put in a porta potty.
trail,
I mean,
Mhm.
but the porta potties are expensive.
So would you
I
have
know.
to have a permit with Parks and Rec to have it? if
I'm
you
sure we
put porta-
signed an agreement.
Yeah,
It's-
there's an agreement.
There's-
But I mean, I get it,
Yeah,
I just
it's a-
had this
it's a huge
conversation.
concept.
Just yesterday or the day.
Yeah,
or
just the
Friday
other
or
day, I had this, and I've said it before, and we had this exact conversation about a few different things, and that is one of them.
Mhm.
You're spending 25 grand.
If the
Mhm.
parks, they're gonna be proceeding, right?
As far as I know,
So
yeah.
is that gonna be adding the same similar thing,
I'm sure.
Mhm.
That's what
similar
they're gonna try
costs?
I
Well,
don't,
I
think
thought
we
we
won't
were-
have any
Oh, I thought we
easement to
had-
pay there because.
No, but we
that
have
is
to
the state
maintain it.
parks, But we are
So,
gonna
I mean,
maintain the
it's
bathroom.
I'm
You've
just
still
throwing,
got labor into it.
I'm just throwing this out, but what would be the sense of having a bathroom there and then a bathroom 3/4 of a mile down the road on the same trail, wouldn't it be?
Mhm.
I'm thinking Washington Parks and Rec should be paying us.
Yeah. Just
I'm
throwing that out
not,
there.
I'm not disagreeing,
No.
no.
I mean, being
it
so
makes
close
perfect
together.
sense. Yeah,
They do get used a lot, I see people there all the
Sure,
time.
I mean, you'd
you
think
know.
the Washington Parks would be a little more generous towards us. Cause in all reality, I would be thinking they should be paying us instead of us paying them.
Mhm.
That's
Doesn't-
ridiculous.
It doesn't really work like that.
Yeah.
I said boarding things up.
They've got them all
See
over
if they
the
pay.
state.
See if they come down with a different
They have
answer.
them all around the state like that, yeah.
Get the same deal, same.
Oh,
cities
yeah,
all over.
yeah.
So when they build the
I don't
the
see how the state
new
can
showers
profit
and
off the
everything on
city.
the highway, we have to maintain
Should
that.
be the other way.
I don't know if we have to maintain it, but we're responsible for stuffing and cleaning and that kind of a thing. We.
We have to maintain the one we.
Yeah.
We agreed
Now-
to that.
Now.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
thought the agreement was, we'd have to maintain it.
Mhm. We didn't get those other two lots, which would have then made a nice park right there. And we were not able to get the funding for that, so, but Parks is still going ahead with theirs, is that what?
As
you
far as
said?
I know, I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything either. Yeah. But it was kind of a partnership deal and our partnership part didn't happen.
But we get to clean the their bathroom.
Yeah, probably.
Jerry does.
But you know, that is something to think about, you know, we could
Absolutely.
I don't
really take
do,
one out.
Other than say no.
Well, the other thing is, cause when you look at it years before, it was considerably less amount of money that we were paying, so what was the differences there, I wonder?
Where are we at?
Washington Parks and Rec easement.
I know, I gotta find it. Oh, here it is, right here.
I know where,
We've increased by almost $13,000.
Yeah, that's a huge increase in the easement fee.
I'm gonna call him up, Mayor, and ask him what's going on.
Yeah, that is a big increase.
And those things have been there longer
Two
than
thousand
2
to
years.
14, that's huge. Yeah, we need to look into that a little bit and see what's what. We'll pick up on that. Yeah, $2,000 for an easement isn't horrible, but 14,000 is really big. They're not charging us for the new one, are they, all the way down to that new restroom?
I don't have any idea.
I'd have to look at, I could have
Yeah,
to
we'll
pull
have
that
to
bill.
pull
I
it
mean,
up
we
and
got a
look.
bill, so I'll
Yeah,
have to pull it and look at it.
yeah. see
I mean,
what's
they
on
send
there.
us.
Is it something the city asked for? And originally,
The
The
easement,
easement?
no,
The
to put that
restroom?
restroom in there.
I wasn't here when it went in, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know
I
either.
would have to do some research and find out.
It probably put in because it's the end of the trail and
Yeah,
probably,
was it under Dale or under,
Either Dale or Steve.
Steve? It was under Steve.
Well, I remember Kirk Church had them when he was mayor is when they went in, right?
Yeah,
I mean, they've been there for 6 or 7 years probably.
I don't remember.
Well, yeah, longer than that.
Well, they've been there for 10.
Oh, there you go.
It's been there longer than that.
Well, it's been 15 years.
Yeah.
I got them under it's been 10
Why
years.
do we have to pay for an easement?
I don't know.
Don't.
We need to look into that one and see what's
I'll
what.
pull, I
That's
mean, we got a
probably
bill
Parks
for
and
it. I'll
Rec's
pull it. I
property.
thought it was something with the, I don't know,
Or we
the
paid
sewer
any
and how
easement
it
at the
like
boat
ran.
launches?
Well, we have, DNR leases and stuff.
Okay, but that's not Washington State, so that's
Mm-mm.
something different.
We'll look into it. Find out.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, I
Okay.
can pull what they sent and
Yeah.
see what it
and
it
it's
says on
pull
there.
last year's and see why it was.
Yeah, I'll look at it,
12,000
yeah,
more.
Yeah.
cause that's what, it came as like a bill. I remember when it came,
Mhm.
but I don't remember
Sure.
exactly what the. Mosquitoes miscellaneous expenses, 600. Salaries and wages. 2,574. Personnel benefits, 978.
Is this for mosquitoes?
This is mosquitoes, yeah.
Mhm.
Professional services, spraying, 67,600. Insurance, 30,950. Capital outlay, vehicles, 15,000. Maintenance, for Robert Bush Park, 5,500. Mary Rogers Pioneer Park, 5,500. Then the court, state court remittances, 40,000. County court remittances, 600. Municipal court checks, 125,000. And the state fee building permit, 600. Concealed weapons permit, state fee, 1,000. And then the HUD, Housing Community Development, $1,000.
So mosquitoes cost us 117,000, huh? Is that,
There's a little bit of wages for some of our guys that help out occasionally there. And then, there's 15,000 set aside, for, vehicle. It gets split between water, sewer, mosquito, they have to get it right, it gets split. several
I wonder if we'll ever
ways.
get rid of the mosquitoes.
No.
And why
sure
do,
we
why do
won't.
we have them? Raymond doesn't.
Raymond does, they have
Raymond
horrible,
did have them this
Oh, they have
year.
them now?
oh, they have horrible mosquitoes, it's
That's the first time
horrible.
I noticed them over there, but holy moly.
Were you transport?
I take as many as I can when I go.
Yeah.
Stuck in your car.
Go across the
So
line.
Raymond's pretty bad this year
Yeah.
with mosquitoes. Huh?
There, it's
Oh,
horrible.
Over at the
in
park?
Raymond. I said they need to get a spray.
Was it at the park?
No, downtown.
Really?
So on their fogging that they do, they call it spraying on here, but they
Yeah.
fog.
Mhm.
Is there a certain amount of those they do each year under this contract?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they have a schedule.
yeah, he has a schedule and it's
Yeah.
always on our website too, his
Mhm.
schedule.
This year, it was really ironic that every time he fogged, it rained the next day.
Yeah.
And I know he's already
He-
set on the schedule.
And he can't change it because
No.
he's gotta be in other places.
Right.
Yeah, it's
He
just terrible.
does change it though. He has changed
Yeah, he
it
has
when,
changed it.
he has changed it. He does watch
But
and
this year, so many times he would
Yeah.
fog and the next day it would
We
rain.
also need it later in the year. You know, like when's his
Well,
So they
time?
weren't bad.
So
Here
it's
through
a larva
September.
side, so he has to lay it at the
He
time he
lar-
lays it.
Mhm.
he does that in the spring, March. And then he was here through September.
They were really bad, or the
So first
Hispanic
part of
Hispanic
October was
Heritage
bad,
Party
yeah.
was awful.
Mhm.
They were,
I mean,
That was
we can have him
September.
more, but it just would cost us more.
yeah. Well, and you know, it depends on the weather too.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
'cause
Yeah,
I wonder if we could postpone some of those ones in the middle of summer, you know, where they're really not that bad.
go later on.
Yeah.
So Labor Day isn't, you know,
He hits hard around there.
he
He
sprayed
does.
He
every
hits
day
hard
at Labor
at
Day.
Labor
But
Day.
it seems like
Yeah.
in July, we could probably take a couple breaks.
He
in
does a
there.
lot of larva sightings still then. I
But
don't
maybe,
know if we
well,
would-
I'll reach out to him. He's gone right now to conference, cause I did reach out to him to make sure what the updated
Mhm.
cost was gonna be. Maybe, I can have him come, like he could maybe zoom in or something and he could come to either a council meeting or he could like talk with us like about some options
Yeah,
if,
'cause we're getting a good month extra of weather, good weather.
yeah.
This year we sure did.
Mhm.
I'd be interested just to hear what he does, why,
Mhm.
just because.
It's been
we
a
had
while
asked
since
about
he's
it.
come and
Yeah,
talked
it's
to us.
interesting.
So, I'll reach out to him and
Okay.
see if we can get something where he can come and talk to you guys.
That'd be cool.
So,
'Cause
yeah.
I'm kind of clueless if somebody asks me about it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And
So-
yeah, and he's great. And he's a talker though. I'll just tell you that right now. But yeah, he's really informative and I'm sure would be happy to come and talk to you guys.
He
So
would,
I'll
yeah.
I'll reach out to him.
I know it's the biggest thing is when people don't mow their lawns and keep everything short.
mhm.
It's really
Mhm.
bad, like the
Mhm.
houses across the street from me and the alley, you know, across the alley.
They hold the moisture, which
Yeah,
breeds them.
and you just walk by there and they're all over you, but I don't have any in my yard.
Mhm.
Doesn't help when you got a slew on 3/4 of the corners of your town.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on the budget, everyone's okay with what we've got here? Is there anything you think needs to be adjusted, tweaked or anything? You're okay?
Well, so looking at the budget, when you're talking about revenue to expenditures, are we looking like we're in the hole when you add those?
No.
No, I wouldn't have, so when I look at it, then like, and we're still working on it and this will come out when we do like but, if I had went through with these guys and then went in here, if anything was in the red, I would have went back, we would have been tweaking it until nothing was in the red before it was even presented as a preliminary one. Because, yeah, we don't wanna present something that's not, you know.
We can't go in the hole.
Yeah, no.
No, that's what I'm saying, because when I looked at those numbers, they just wasn't adding up. That's what I kept saying. It showed like a deficit of like almost $300,000 and.
Well, some of it, you know, we aren't gonna, spend everything that we've got, like in some of those capital projects, like a lot of those water projects, like the river crossing is 260,000. Well, that's money that's sitting in our investment pool. But we still have to account for it, that's what it's earmarked for. So it's accounted for in here, and there's like $1 million some dollars accounted for in here that we aren't gonna spend this year unless there's a catastrophic incident and the river crossing fails or something, but it has to be there. We aren't gonna replace the membranes at the water treatment plant. They're brand new. We aren't gonna replace those this year, but we've got $150,000 sitting in that investment pool to cover that when we need it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it comes out, it shows as an expenditure on here because that's what it's earmarked for. But that money is sitting in our investments. So, yeah.
It'll sit there for a long time.
Yeah. We don't use it if we don't have to. That's right.
When I saw that number, I thought, there's no way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would basically be a match.
It would be a match for a grant, that's what it
Yeah.
would be, yeah.
Emergency
Yes.
funding, have to take that.
It would be several million probably to
Oh,
replace
yeah.
that, I would think, yeah. But it's a start, you know, so.
Well, capital outlay is huge. I mean, you start looking at capital
Yeah,
projects
it is.
on prevailing wage, it's
So,
a
Yeah.
tremendous amount of money.
It sure is.
Yes, yes.
So-
When you look at what we're doing, just the sidewalk on Madison Street, $600 and some thousand.
Mhm.
You know, that's crazy for a sidewalk. That's not even a street, that's a sidewalk. Yeah,
Well, that's what I was curious. So like with the Cheney field down there, do we have anything where we're putting away for the replacement of that field in 15 years from now?
Nope.
Yeah. Because you know, the school's football field is gonna need a replacement within 3 years after that is, so
mhm.
who's gonna come up with the money to replace two fields at the same time?
Can Harlow write
The
a
grant writer at the school.
So,
Write a
We don't have to play a game on that field,
Who's to say he's gonna be here 15 years from now?
but I mean.
stop, we're getting the field, we're only supposed to be talking about the budget
Right.
tonight.
Yeah.
So, we're not in a regular meeting, that can be our only topic of conversation, so I'm gonna pull us back to the budget. If nobody has anything else, then we can adjourn the meeting.
Yeah.
no, I'm good.
Okay, then we will adjourn.